Good evening and welcome. This is our Friday, May 13, 2016 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, 13 days to go as we count down to our Golden Jubilee Independence celebrations. 1 year after and the coalition is still strong. Local aviation sector to have improved safety, and business ministers pleased with first night of Guy Expo. I am Azim Khan and this is the Government News Brief. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Here are the details. The coalition is still holding strong after 1 year working for the good of all Guyanese, says Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu. More in this report.
The Prime Minister says that all around the world it is difficult to maintain coalitions, but the majority of the leadership of the APNU plus AFC alliance has kept it strong.
And it must be to the credit of the APNU AFC that we are able to remain a stable coalition, a strong coalition, and not allow the doomsayer, the naysayers, to crack us up. Because you're dealing with an opposition in Guyana that thrives on misinformation, that thrives on any sign of a difference in the government.
The Prime Minister, during an interview with the Government Information Agency, GINA, explained that the Commingsburg Accord, which brought the coalition together, would be revised in some parts to strengthen the functions of various officials within the government. He assures Guyanese that efforts are continuing by all members of the coalition to cement the relationship.
We want to continue to send the message to the Guyanese people that this APNU-AFC coalition was the best thing that could have happened in Guyana in the last 50 years. Post-independent Guyana deserved a rainbow coalition that will hold out the hope and the image of national unity, ethnic, racial, cultural, religious diversity. All of these elements and virtues are evident in the coalition.
Prime Minister Nagamutu is confident that the coalition will live up to the expectations of Guyanese. The accord was the country's historic and watershed political development as a new electoral alliance is on the move to put Guyana on the correct path to development. Shant Goberdan with his Government News Brief.
Agriculture Minister Noel Holder is urging all to work together for the benefit of the rice industry, which is currently the most important local agriculture sector. Here are the details.
Speaking in the National Assembly yesterday, the Agriculture Minister urged cooperation for the implementation of measures that will enhance the state of the rice industry.
The rice is our industry. We must stop the bickering and making statements and work together for the benefit of the farmers. I welcome the Rice Producers Association and the honorable members to come, sit down with my officers, and let us work on these measures in greater detail for the benefit of the farmers and to improve the state of the rice industry.
Rice now earns more foreign exchange than sugar. It also uses the largest portion of agricultural lands and absorbs and influences more of the working population than any other industry in Guyana. However, the industry is currently experiencing some hardships, but Minister Holder says that government supports the 7,300 farmers across the rice belt, cultivating about 240,000 acres.
The rice farmers have been influenced by naysayers, but they are smart, hardworking, and resilient people. We have seen them sowing and harvesting the rice lands despite all the negative comments. We in the government will continue to do all in our power to take the industry forward, despite the constraints.
Minister Holder says that over the next months, the Ministry of Agriculture and the Guyana Rice Development Board will be holding a series of meetings to update farmers and be actively involved in solving their problems. He assured that government will not be deterred and will continue to support the transformation of the rice sector. Government News Brief, Glendon, Greenwich.
Improved safety for the local aviation sector as Guyana seeks to conform to International Civil Aviation Organization standards.
Operators in the local aviation sector are set to offer improved safety standards as the government moves to implement an Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation Act. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson says that a draft of the act is currently in circulation for recommendations and approval.
It's been sent to stakeholders for comment at the moment. I've asked them, I've given them 6 weeks. And then obviously, if there's any, unless there's some major recommendations that comes out from them, if there's not, I'll incorporate all the recommendations. And then hopefully we can actually table it in Parliament.
Minister Patterson explains that the act is government's effort to improve Guyana's rate of compliance with the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, which deals with the safe and orderly development of civil aviation.
The ICAO recommendations are that that air accident be a standalone unit, and there are certain things that are required for us, posting of our accident reports and those things like that. So we're basically trying to comply in moving the entire country forward. So hopefully at the end of this year, we have a structure and a unit, so therefore we can persons can learn from each other and we can investigate accidents. Hopefully there'll be very few. We can investigate it independently and record it. And obviously ICAO will give you a higher rating if you're able to do this. So therefore it all fits into our trying to get a higher grade and compliance with ICAO.
A draft of the act was also sent to the opposition party's Shadow Minister of Public Infrastructure for input, feedback and recommendations to ensure its approval and smooth passage in Parliament. Minister Patterson says the government is committed to the reduction of air accidents for a safe aviation sector in compliance with ICAO standards. Renetta LaFleur for the Government News Brief.
In today's edition of Reflections of Independence, broadcaster Francisco Manafaria shares his recollection of the country's atmosphere on May 26, 1966, when Guyana officially became an independent nation.
It was super, it was fantastic. It was a moment to be remembered. And then the icing on the cake when Chetty Jagan and Forbes Burnham went and embraced each other and hugged each other. I was hoping that that hug would have remained.
Decentralizing of services for issuance of passports, birth, marriage and death certificates have begun as the Ministry of Citizenship aims for all the regions. Find out how in this report.
Citizens can look forward to faster, more efficient services in their regions as the Ministry of Citizenship moves to spread out its services away from Georgetown. Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix says the level of service has improved over the past year.
We take no pride in having our Guyanese citizens traveling from far distant areas of this country to line up at Camp Road waiting to apply for a passport. And this is prompting us to move in the direction of decentralization of the service.
The initiative has seen the Immigration Service move to Berbice, where passports are being distributed.
We would want to take it further, that applications are received there and passports are issued there. In the coming year, we will seek to progress in that direction.
Bartica, Anna Regina and Lethem will eventually benefit from the decentralization of the ministry's services.
To ensure that they are treated just like the Borbicians with the requisite speed and efficiency, and to ensure that they are not also made to wait for unduly long periods to receive an application or to lodge an application for a passport.
The Ministry of Citizenship was established in May 2015 when the APNU plus AFC coalition came into office. For this Government News Brief, I am Namila Baines-Rowe.
Rain did not dampen the opening night of Guy Expo. Minister Dominic Gaskin is pleased.
You know, I've seen some high quality stuff in the furniture section. I've seen some technology in the cell phone shops, which, to be honest with you, I haven't really grasped as yet. So I have to go back and have it properly explained to me. But, you know, and I like the enthusiasm that I'm seeing for opening night. The attendance is very good, actually. There are a lot of people walking around, enjoying Guy Expo, and, you know, that means a lot to us. We're very happy.
Gina will be participating at Guy Expo. Please join us at our booth for our pictorial exhibition on pre- and post-independence. Developmental projects will also be highlighted through photographs. All visitors to Guy Expo are encouraged to visit Gina's booth, located in the service pavilion on the complex. A School of Creative Arts is being proposed. Details in this report.
The Department of Culture, Youth and Sport is planning the establishment of an Institute of Creative Arts to ensure that artistically inclined citizens can be accredited. According to Minister within the Ministry of Education, Nicolette Henry.
Oh yes, certainly. But definitely, I would hope to see an Institute of Creative Arts in its true form. A building that houses the various sections of our art and where our people can actually be well trained.
The minister acknowledged the absence of local accreditation for the arts and cultural practitioners and promised to change this.
A bit disappointed that we have institutions such as Borough School, and they do a great job, but they're not accredited, and so we have to work towards ensuring that we have institutions that can provide our people with not only the skills but the qualification.
Under the previous administration, several calls were made for a clear national policy for arts and culture, but all fell on deaf ears. Projecting on the arts and culture industry, Minister Henry says the intention is to ensure stakeholders are given the type of opportunities similar to their counterparts in the region. Cultural Policy Advisor Ruel Johnson is tasked with drafting a comprehensive national cultural policy and has already held one consultation. Kidaki Amsterdam for Government's News Brief.
This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on Gina's website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook so you can be informed as the news unfolds. Remember to join us again on Monday for another edition of the Government News Brief. Thank you for watching.